He trusted her with his life, until that day when one little lie changed everything. Daniel Okere sat alone in his car outside a cafe in Lagos. His wedding was only 3 days away. He stared at the glowing dot on his phone screen. Amara's location. She'd told him she was going to the tailor for a final fitting on her wedding dress. But the pin on his screen wasn't showing the tailor's shop in Lekki. It was showing a quiet guest house on the outskirts of the city, a place she had no reason to be. Daniel's heart pounded. Maybe there was an explanation. Maybe the location was wrong. But deep down, he knew something wasn't right. He'd felt it for weeks now. Phone calls she'd step outside to take. Text messages she'd quickly close when he walked into the room. He started his car and began to follow the pin. The drive felt endless. His mind raced with possibilities, each one worse than the last. Was she meeting an ex? Was there someone else? When he finally reached the guest house, his stomach dropped. There she was, Amara, walking through the gate with a well-dressed older man. They weren't touching, but there was something about the way they moved together that made his blood run cold. A familiarity. She glanced around nervously before they both disappeared inside. Daniel sat frozen in his car. What was she doing here? Who was that man? And why had she lied? Before we proceed, I need to ask something of you. Please, just do this one thing for me. Subscribe to this channel. Hit that subscribe button right now. This is a brand new channel, and your subscription means everything to me. These videos take hours of research, writing, and editing to put together. The only way you can encourage me to keep doing this is by subscribing. Please, like this video. Comment your thoughts below. Tell me where you're watching from, your city, your country. I value your engagement so much. In fact, I'll be giving shout-outs to some of you in my next video. So drop that comment. This is how you support me. This is how we grow together. Now, what happened next? Daniel waited. Through a half-open curtain on the second floor, he saw them. Amara was sitting on a couch, crying. The man sat close to her, holding her hand. Then the man pulled out an envelope, a thick one. He handed it to Amara. She stared at it, then hugged him tightly. Daniel felt like he'd been stabbed in the chest. He grabbed his phone and recorded a short video through the window. Proof. Proof that the woman he was about to marry was living a lie. Amara left the room moments later, wiping her eyes. She looked calm now, composed, like nothing had happened. Daniel sat there long after she was gone, staring at the video on his phone. He drove home in silence. Let's go back 2 years. Daniel met Amara Nwosu at a shopping mall in Lagos. She was rushing, balancing fabric samples and a cup of coffee. She collided right into him. Hot coffee spilled all over his white shirt. She apologized frantically, dabbing at his shirt with napkins, making it worse. Daniel laughed. He asked for her number instead of an apology. Amara was a fashion designer from Enugu. Talented, ambitious, but humble. She didn't care about his money or his family's name. They talked every night. Long phone calls that stretched into the early morning. Daniel proposed to her at the beach in Lekki. Sunset. Simple. She cried when she said yes. Their families loved each other. Everyone said they were the perfect couple. Amara told him she didn't want a big, flashy wedding. She wanted something simple, genuine. Daniel loved that about her. She always said she hated secrets. She hated lies. Yet she was keeping the biggest one of all. That night, Daniel sat in his apartment, staring at his phone. The video played on loop in his mind. He wanted to scream. But his family was already in Lagos for the traditional marriage ceremony. His mother, his cousins, aunties, uncles. Everyone was excited. How could he tell them the wedding was off? How could he explain that his bride was cheating? He decided to stay quiet. For now. The next morning, Amara came over, glowing with excitement. She showed him fabric swatches for the reception decor. She talked about the menu, the guest list. Daniel watched her. Every smile felt fake. Every word felt like a lie. His mother noticed something was wrong, but he brushed it off. Trust, once cracked, doesn't break with sound. It shatters silently. Daniel's cousin, Ngozi, was sharp. She noticed Daniel's mood and started asking questions. When he wouldn't talk, she decided to investigate on her own. The next day, she followed Amara. Amara went to the same guest house, met the same man. But this time, they went somewhere else. A hospital. Ngozi took photos and sent them to Daniel. Amara and the man, walking into a hospital. Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. Oncology ward. That evening, Daniel couldn't take it anymore. He showed up at Amara's apartment. Who is he, Amara? She froze. Who is who? Don't play games with me. The man you've been meeting. At the guest house. At the hospital. Who is he? Her face went pale. Daniel, I can explain. Don't lie to me. I followed you. I saw you. Are you cheating on me? Tears filled her eyes. No. No, Daniel, it's not what you think. Then what is it? Who is he? She opened her mouth to speak, but no words came out. She just stood there, crying. Daniel turned and walked out. Daniel, please. Let me explain. He didn't stop. That night, Daniel called his best man, Chidi. There's not going to be a wedding. Cancel the cake. Cancel everything. I can't marry her. He hung up and started sending emails. Cancelling vendors. Postponing the church. Putting everything on hold. The next morning, chaos erupted. Vendors started calling Amara, confused about the cancellations. Guests were texting, asking if the wedding was still on. Amara called Daniel frantically. He didn't answer. She showed up at his apartment. He didn't open the door. By noon, word had spread. The wedding was postponed indefinitely. That afternoon, Amara's best friend Ife showed up at Daniel's door. She was furious. What is wrong with you? You humiliate my best friend, and you won't even talk to her. She's the one who's been lying. I know about the man she's been meeting. Ife stared at him. Then anger flashed in her eyes. You idiot! She reached into her bag and pulled out an envelope. The same envelope Daniel had seen in the video. She opened it and spread the contents across his coffee table. Hospital bills. Medical reports. Treatment schedules. Pages and pages of them. Adenocarcinoma. Stage 3. Chemotherapy protocol. What is this? Daniel whispered. The man you saw Amara with is her father, Chukwuma Nwosu. He left Amara and her mother when she was 7 years old. Just disappeared. No explanation. No goodbye. Nothing. Daniel's chest tightened. 3 months ago, he reached out to her. He's dying. Lung cancer. Stage 3. He has no one else. No wife. No other children. Just Amara, the daughter he abandoned. So she's been paying for his treatment, Daniel said quietly, with her own wedding savings. She's been meeting him in secret, taking him to appointments, paying his bills. She didn't want you to know because she was ashamed. Your family is wealthy, respected. Her father is a nobody who abandoned his child. She thought your family would look down on her. Daniel dropped the papers. She was protecting you, Daniel, not betraying you. And now she's gone. Gone. Daniel's head snapped up. She left this morning. Back to Enugu. She couldn't face the shame. Daniel didn't pack. Didn't change clothes. He just grabbed his car keys and drove straight to Enugu. 4 hours. Non-stop. When he reached the hospital, he found them on the 5th floor. Room 512. Amara sitting beside a hospital bed. A frail man lying there, oxygen tubes in his nose, 4 lines in his arms. Her father. Amara's eyes were red and swollen. She looked exhausted. Daniel pushed open the door. Amara. She didn't look at him. You thought I was cheating. You didn't trust me. You followed me like I was a criminal. You cancelled our wedding without even talking to me. I was scared. I saw you with him, and You just assumed the worst. I've spent 2 years showing you who I am. 2 years being honest. And the moment something didn't make sense, you threw all of that away. Tears streamed down her face. Love isn't supposed to spy, Daniel. Love is supposed to trust. I was trying to protect you from this mess, from my painful past, and you punished me for it. Her father opened his eyes weakly. You must be the man who's breaking my daughter's heart. Daniel's throat burned. Sir, I made a terrible mistake. The old man coughed. Mistakes can be fixed, son. But broken trust? That takes more than an apology. Daniel knelt beside Amara's chair. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll wait as long as you need. I'll prove to you that I can be better. Amara didn't respond. Just turned back to her father. Daniel stayed. He pulled up another chair and sat in silence. Hours passed. Around midnight, Amara finally spoke. Why are you still here? Because I'm not leaving. Not until you tell me to. I'm telling you to leave. He stood up, defeated. I'll be at a hotel nearby. When you're ready to talk, if you're ever ready, call me. He left. Over the next 3 weeks, Daniel stayed in Enugu. Every morning, he'd show up at the hospital with food for Amara. Simple things he knew she liked. He'd leave it with the nurse and leave before she saw him. He also went to the hospital's billing department and paid everything. The past bills, the current treatment, the upcoming chemotherapy sessions, everything. But he made them keep it anonymous. In the 2nd week, Daniel started seeing Amara in the hospital cafeteria. He never approached her, just watched from a distance. Once, their eyes met. She held his gaze for a moment, then looked away and left. In the 3rd week, Chukwuma's condition improved dramatically. The new chemotherapy protocol was working. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. The doctor told Amara, someone paid for the premium treatment plan, the new immunotherapy drugs. We couldn't have done this without that funding. Who paid for it? Amara asked. It was an anonymous donation. 3 weeks ago, right after your father was admitted. Amara's mind raced. 3 weeks ago, right after Daniel came to Enugu. That evening, she walked down to the cafeteria. Daniel was there, sitting alone at a corner table. She walked over. "You paid for my father's treatment." He sighed. "Yes." "Why?" "Because I love you. Because I made the worst mistake of my life. Because even if you never forgive me, I couldn't watch you suffer." Tears filled her eyes. "I don't know how to feel. You don't have to do anything with it. I didn't do it to buy your forgiveness. I did it because it was right. My father is getting better. I know. I'm still angry at you. You have every right to be. But I don't hate you either." Daniel leaned forward. "It means maybe, someday, you might be able to forgive me. And I'll wait for that day as long as it takes. I need time. Take all the time you need. Thank you. For my father. For being here." She left. Over the next few weeks, things shifted slowly. Amara started acknowledging Daniel. Brief conversations in the cafeteria about her father's progress. Chukwuma continued to improve. By the 6th week, he was well enough to sit up in bed. One afternoon, Amara brought Daniel into the room. "Dad, this is Daniel." Chukwuma studied him. "The man who didn't trust my daughter." Daniel didn't flinch. "Yes, sir. That's me. Why should she give you another chance? She shouldn't. I don't deserve one. But if she does, I promise I'll spend every day proving I won't make that mistake again. You paid for my treatment. I didn't do it for gratitude. I know. You did it for her." He smiled slightly. "That's the only reason I'm not telling you to leave." Amara asked her father, "Do you think people can really change?" "I think people can change. But only if they're willing to face the ugliest parts of themselves. Only if someone gives them a reason to." He looked at Daniel. "I left you and your mother when you were 7. I was a coward. But this cancer changed me. Made me face everything I'd been running from." He turned back to Amara. "So yes, people can change. But you don't owe them forgiveness just because they do. Forgiveness is a gift, not a debt." That night, Amara asked Daniel to take a walk with her. "What you did hurt me more than anything I've ever experienced," she said. "But you also stayed. You paid for my father's treatment. You showed up every single day, even when I wouldn't talk to you." She stopped walking. "I don't know if I can trust you again the way I did before, but I think I want to try. Because despite everything, I still love you." Daniel's eyes filled with tears. "But we can't go back to how things were. We have to build something new. Something stronger. I'll do whatever it takes. No big wedding. Not right now. If we do this, we do it small. Quiet. Real. Whatever you want." She nodded. "Okay then. Let's start over." 3 months later, Chukwuma was declared cancer-free. Amara cried when they got the news. Daniel held her while she sobbed with relief. That evening, a letter arrived at the hospital. It contained details of the anonymous donation that had paid for her father's treatment. The letter was signed, "A friend who still believes in love." Amara found Daniel in the cafeteria. She didn't say anything, just walked up and wrapped her arms around him. "Thank you," she whispered, "for not giving up on me." On Amara's birthday, 2 months later, she visited a small village church in Enugu, a place where she could think. When she walked in, she froze. Daniel was there, standing at the altar, alone. "What are you doing here?" she asked. He pulled out a ring, a simple silver band with a small sapphire. "Marry me. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not until you're completely ready. Marry me when you wake up one day and realize you trust me again." Tears rolled down her face. "Marry me here, in this church, with just our families. No spectacle. Just us, making promises we actually understand now. Promises that have been tested and broken and rebuilt stronger. No secrets. No doubts. Just truth, even when it hurts. Marry me and let's build something real." "You hurt me," she said. "I know. You broke my heart. I know. And I'm still scared you'll do it again. I'm scared too. But I'd rather be scared with you than safe with anyone else." She looked at the ring in his hand. "Ask me properly." Daniel knelt. "Amara Nwosu, will you marry me? Will you give me the chance to prove that trust can be rebuilt? That love can survive betrayal?" She nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Yes." He slipped the ring on her finger. They held each other in that empty church, crying, healing, choosing each other again. 1 month later, they married in that same small church. 20 people attended. Just immediate family. Her father, healthy and strong, walked her down the aisle. Amara wore a dress she'd designed herself. Simple. Elegant. Daniel wore a traditional agbada. When Amara walked down the aisle, Daniel wept. She was choosing him. Despite everything. They'd written their own vows. Daniel spoke first. "Amara, I promise to choose trust over fear. I promise to choose communication over assumptions. I promise to choose you, every single day, even on the days when it's hard." Amara's turn. "Daniel, you stayed. You waited. You proved that love isn't about perfection. I promise to let you in, even when it's scary. To trust that we're stronger together. I promise to forgive, not just once, but every time we stumble." The pastor pronounced them husband and wife. They kissed, and the room erupted in quiet, joyful tears. At the reception, Chukwuma gave a speech. "My daughter is everything I failed to be. Strong, forgiving, brave. And Daniel, you've learned that admitting you're wrong doesn't make you weak. It makes you human." He raised his glass. "To love that survives doubt. To trust that can be rebuilt. To second chances. To Daniel and Amara." Months later, Daniel and Amara walked out of the hospital after Chukwuma's final checkup. Still cancer-free. The sun was setting. They walked hand in hand to their car. "Do you ever think about that day when you followed me?" Amara asked. "Every day. It's my biggest regret. We both made mistakes. But look where we are now." "Something real," Daniel said. "Something real," she agreed. As Daniel drove, Amara rested her hand on his. "I trust you," she said quietly. He glanced at her, surprised. "You do." "I do. Completely." His eyes filled with tears. "That's all I ever wanted. You have it. Don't break it again." "I won't. I promise." Their shadows merged in the sunset. 2 people who'd been broken and rebuilt into something stronger together. Sometimes the greatest betrayals are born from fear, not malice. And sometimes love isn't about trusting perfectly. It's about forgiving completely. It's about choosing each other even when it's hard. Daniel followed Amara to uncover lies. Instead, he found the truth that made him human. That love isn't about never making mistakes. It's about making things right after you do. He learned that trust isn't given once. It's chosen every day, built brick by brick. Amara learned that carrying burdens alone doesn't make you strong. Real strength is letting people in. Together, they learned that second chances aren't about forgetting the past. They're about using it to build a better future. And that made all the difference. Before you go, I have just one request. If this story touched your heart, if it made you feel something, then please don't just scroll away. This is a new channel, and every single one of your likes, comments, and subscriptions means the world to me. These stories take hours of writing, research, and editing to bring to life, and your simple click on that subscribe button is what keeps me going. Please, subscribe right now if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next story. And tell me in the comments where you're watching from, your city or country. I love seeing how far these stories travel. I'll be giving a special shout-out to some of you in the next video. Remember, your comment, your like, your share. That's how you support this journey. So go ahead, show some love, and let's keep growing together. Now tell me, what would you have done if you were in Daniel's place? Let me know down in the comments. Until next time, this is Folktale Window, where every story holds a lesson, and every lesson is a treasure.